Last Sunday we dealt about Gospel of John chapter 2 verses 1 to 11, in which Jesus transforms water into wine. And as we all know, this is the beginning big Lent, and Gospel of John deals with how Jesus' transformation of water into wine is actually not just a miracle which happens in order to elevate people from the scarcity, but it is something that speaks beyond the mere miracle. So the first point that I wanted us to understand is that scarcity in Cana, the family where the marriage took place, is not actually a curse for humanity, because Jesus was invited to the marriage, and it's in the presence of Jesus and his disciples that this great scarcity happened. Family was in trouble. So wherever we are, even when God is with us, we experience the feeling of scarcity, the feeling of emptiness. Emptiness is not a curse. It is a moment in which we look towards God, experiencing bliss and power of God overcoming us and fulfilling our spiritual experience. So as we can relate to 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verses 9, in which Paul tells about this overwhelming experience of scarcity, of weakness, which as a powerful experience in his life. He said, "It is in my weakness that God speaks to me and transforms me and fills me with His power." He witnesses it in his writing. Again, when you read Habakkuk chapter 3, we say Habakkuk experiences God's power in spite of all the problems that he has with his life. Job experienced the same power of God in his entire problems that he had in his life. If you go on to the scriptures more deeply, you can understand it's people who had the problems in their life. They had experienced the power of God in the midst of problems, in the midst of scarcity. If you read in Daniel the friends of Daniel, they said to Nebuchadnezzar, "Even if you do not deliver me, God, we will still worship you." And that is the spirit of Christianity. That's the spirit of Christian worship. That's the spirit of Jesus Christ, which sustains us in spite of all the problems that we have. Now, the prosperity theology that we often profess is something that fills our material scarcity, but it is just the surface of the problem. Once we are filled up with the material prosperity that we want to have, the greed that we have within ourselves, we are filled up. We do not no longer need a God. Now that is where religions should make a difference. For the people who really need a spiritual indwelling to empower them. And that is where prosperity theology, that is where all this the people who are tele-evangelists, they do not fill the void. They just fill the people from the surface. And deep within there's lying a deep discontentment, deep void or deep vacuum, which needs to be filled up. Can be filled up. The transformation of water into wine was exactly the process of filling up the people's internal experience of wine, or experience wherein they were actually cut out from the community. They could not experience the happiness that they needed. here is the best take the wine saying, you had hid us all this wine for all this year time for us. You are the empty jars of Jesus Christ. He wants to fill you up. He wants to transform your life and make it so powerful that it can be a very enriching experience for all those who encounter us and be with us and speak to us daily. Can you fill the life of others? Can you make others' life a beautiful experience? And that is the question. It is not the question of whether I am being filled up by something material that I don't. It is not the filling up of the gaps that God expects from you as a Christian. What God expects from you is, are you fulfilling the spiritual needs of the community, which is unable to experience the sweetness of God in this community which has been